for Zimbabwe?
Thank you very much. What we need to understand first, before we can come up with the way forward, is what has been the problem with Zimbabwe. And the problems of Zimbabwe are predicated primarily on three issues. One, it is the legitimacy of the government, which has led the international community not to recognize it. Two, it is the gross misgovernance, which has led to economic deprivation. And three is the gross human rights violations, which has seen millions of people escape persecution from Zimbabwe. If those three fundamental issues are addressed, and we have a legitimate government that comes from a free and a fair election that is monitored by the international community, and if that's addressed, then we'll usher in a government of the people, by the people, for the people. And that government will then have the legitimacy which will allow it to develop Zimbabwe, to bring in infrastructure and investments.
So what do you think should be done by the current president in terms of transforming Zimbabwe as MTC? What do you think?
This is a great opportunity for Mnangagwa as the interim president to bring the change that we in the opposition have been calling for many years. And that is electoral reform, which allows free and fair elections. If that electoral reform allows independent observers from the international community to be present and supervise those elections, then the legitimacy questions falls off. Secondly, he has to allow millions of Zimbabweans that have been pushed out of the country and are in the diaspora to have a voice and be allowed to vote, because it is the people outside who have the monies right now, the remittances that they send continuously to support Zimbabwe, and they need to have a voice, and also that will attract them to bring back investment into the country.
And what about the soldiers? We are told that they're actually sharing the same platforms with the police, like many roadblocks and so forth. What should they do, roughly?
We cannot afford to have a military state in Zimbabwe. So the soldiers belong in the barracks. The constitution is very clear on that, because we do need to return to the rule of law and constitutionalism for the country to move forward. We cannot live under siege. The army's job is to protect the nation in times of war and crises. Right now, we are headed to an election. We do not want people to be intimidated by soldiers in the streets and leading to them failing to exercise their democratic right to vote.